Hi, welcome along to another video. Apologies for the sound quality. It's never an easy one on this channel. This time in this video, I'm going to revisit Chat GPT, a popular subject currently. AI in general is, whether you're for or against it. In about February 2023, I had a chat with, I think, the first version of it. So here we are, sort of 2.5 years later, various versions later of Chat GPT. Stuck with that one because that's the one I used in the first conversation with AI, general chat about weather and climate modification. So the conversation, the voice that Chat GPT uses will be the voice I use for what it says. And the objective really was just to get an idea of how many countries it can name, etc. Is it fully aware of what's going on? How will it respond? So off we go. So it started by asking me what I wanted to talk about, weather modification. And this is the first response.
Weather modification is the intentional manipulation of weather patterns, usually to increase rainfall, reduce hail, or dissipate fog. It's an idea that's been around for decades and ranges from scientific cloud seeding to more controversial and speculative concepts. Here's the breakdown. 1. Main methods. Cloud seeding. The most common method involves dispersing substances like silver iodide, potassium iodide, or dry ice into clouds to encourage ice crystal formation, leading to precipitation. Fog dispersal, often used at airports. Warm air, chemicals, or fans disperse fog to improve visibility. Hail suppression, similar to cloud seeding but aimed at reducing hailstone size. Storm modification, more experimental ideas to weaken hurricanes or redirect storms, mostly theoretical at large scale. 2. Real-world usage. China has used large-scale weather modification for events like the 2008 Beijing Olympics and to manage water supply. U.S. states like Texas and Colorado use cloud seeding for drought relief. UAE invests heavily in rainfall enhancement programs. 3. Controversies and challenges. Effectiveness is debated. Nature's variability makes it hard to prove results. Potential unintended consequences. Changing rainfall in one area could deprive another. Environmental concerns over chemical dispersal. Ethical and geopolitical issues if weather modification affects neighboring countries. 4. The wilder side. Geoengineering concepts, like spraying
The wilder side probably means the wilder side.
4. The wilder side. Geoengineering concepts, like spraying reflective particles in the stratosphere to cool the Earth, are being studied as climate change mitigation strategies. Conspiracy theories often claim weather control for political or military purposes. There's no credible evidence for most of these claims, but real military research, like Project Popeye in the Vietnam War, did occur in the past.
So no credible evidence for most of these claims means that there is credible evidence for some of the claims, and there is one confirmation given, which is an old and known one, but one confirmation is given. Kind of important to read between the lines, isn't it?
There's no credible evidence for most of these claims, but real military research, like Project Popeye in the Vietnam War, did occur in the past. If you want, I can give you a full technical breakdown of cloud seeding, including the chemistry and atmospheric physics. That would cover how it actually changes cloud microphysics, rather than just the theory.
Because we're not interested in the methods, we'll skip that bit and not bother with an explanation on cloud seeding, but go straight to the how many countries have weather modification programs, operations. And just before we get going on this, the information ChatGPT comes up with definitely correlates to what I've come up with, and having the information to hand, if I had to come up with the list that this comes up with, it would probably take me a day to go through all my stuff and go, yeah, this country, and breaking it down how ChatGPT breaks it down. You'll see that it does in 3 minutes, 32 seconds, 37 seconds, what would probably take me all day to do, based on the information being available on the desk, as it were.
You're asking a great question. Here's what the most up-to-date and authoritative sources say. How many countries have weather modification programs? 1. World Meteorological Organization, WMO, June 2024. The WMO reports that operational programs, fog dispersion, rain snow enhancement, hail suppression, are active in more than 50 countries worldwide. World Meteorological Organization. 2. U.S. Government Accountability Office, GAO, July 2025. According to a GAO report, at least 39 countries maintain cloud seeding programs specifically. 3. Locksmith-style intelligence, CIA-related FOIA reference, 2012. A historically referenced CIA-related document indicates that the number of countries with weather modification programs increased from 24 to 42 over the previous decade, with at least 150 active programs globally by 2012 CIA. What this means: broader weather modification programs, which include a range of services like hail suppression and fog dispersal, are active in more than 50 countries, per WMO. Cloud seeding alone, a specific form of modification, is confirmed in at least 39 countries, GAO. Earlier records from 2012 indicate that around 42 countries were engaging in some form of environmental modification, demonstrating a clear upward trend over time. Bottom line: if your interest is in any form of weather modification, the best current estimate is over 50 countries worldwide are running programs. But if you're focusing specifically on cloud seeding, you're looking at least 39 countries. Would you like a breakdown by region or examples of how different countries are deploying these programs?
Good question. So the next thing to ask was, if the WMO, World Meteorological Organization, say more than 50, would the number be closer to 80? And here's the response.
Probably not. 80 would be pushing the upper edge of what's supported by current data. Here's why. The WMO's more than 50 phrasing is deliberately conservative. They only count countries that have confirmed ongoing operational programs, not experimental trials or past projects. Independent tallies from government reports and research papers generally place the number between 50 and 60 countries, with a few outliers suggesting low 70s if you include short-term, seasonal, or dormant projects. To hit 80, you'd have to count almost every country that has ever experimented with weather modification, even if the program is inactive or only ran briefly. That's not how the WMO defines its count. So if we're being precise, confirmed operational programs today, 50 to 60 countries. If you include all active plus sporadic plus recent programs, maybe 65 to 70. 80 plus would require a much looser definition, bordering on anyone who's tried cloud seeding once. If you want, I can map out a country-by-country list of current programs based on the latest WMO and GAO sources, so we can see exactly where the numbers land.
Okay, so that kind of moves us along a little bit and confirms quite a lot of countries are involved. Even if you don't know what the individual countries are, there's a lot doing their thing. So when I asked it to list the individual 50 to 60 countries with operational programs today, that's when it went on its 3 minutes 30 second search to do what would probably take me all day. Firstly, it researched weather modification programs. Then it was searching for countries with operational weather modification programs. Compiling a weather modification list was next. Then it compiled a list of countries for cloud seeding data. Then it looked for a country list. It refined its screenshot range. It adjusted its screenshot range. Then it gathered additional country information, refined the country list after that. Then it expanded the country list. Then it searched for cloud seeding programs in additional countries, improved the search quality. Searching for high-quality hail suppression sources was next. Then it clarified the sources for hail mitigation. Then it searched for global hail mitigation and weather modification sources. It narrowed down the sources and countries, created a reliable list, summarized operational weather modification programs worldwide. Then it refined the list of countries. Then it searched for hail suppression in Central Asia and the Balkans. Then it finalized its operational program list. Then it refined the operational program list. Then it selected countries with active programs. Then it counted the active countries. Then it evaluated operational programs. Then it identified operational programs. Then it validated operational systems. Then it searched for anti-hail rocket evidence in Europe. Then it recounted the countries. Then it considered other countries. Then it searched meteorological cloud seeding and hail suppression data. It summarised the list approach, finalised the list of operational countries, finalised the operational list with uncertain entries, compiled a list of confirmed operational cloud seeding programs, and it did that in 3 minutes 39 seconds. Short answer?
Short answer, there isn't a single authoritative public list. The WMO says more than 50 countries run weather modification cloud seeding of some kind, but it doesn't publish a country-by-country roster. The most concrete recent inventory I can cite is a 2025 US GAO report with an appendix of 39 countries active in 2020 to 2024 outside the US. Adding the US and several Balkan programs that are documented in national aviation meteorological sources gets us into the mid-40s with strong evidence today. Beyond that, reaching 50 to 60 depends on counting countries with intermittent or poorly documented local programs. Here's a consolidated, best evidence list of countries with operational programs documented 2023-2025. Rain enhancement, hail suppression, or fog dispersal. I group them by region and cite representative sources. Hark Americas, Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Canada, United States. Europe, Austria, Bulgaria, France, Germany, Greece, Moldova, Romania, Russia, Spain, Switzerland. Croatia, Croatian Met Service describes operational hail suppression. Serbia, government notices and tenders reflect ongoing anti-hail rocket operations. Hungary, National Hail Mitigation Network. Bosnia and Herzegovina, official aeronautical information publication, anti-hail rocket firing. North Macedonia, Civil Aviation Regulation notes anti-hail rockets. Georgia, Kakheti region's anti-hail system described in recent publications, government material. Africa, Ethiopia, Mali, Morocco, Niger, Senegal, Zimbabwe. Middle East and Central Asia, Iran, Israel, Oman, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, UAE also well documented by the Royal Meteorological Society. South and East, Southeast Asia and Oceania, China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Mongolia, Philippines, South Korea, Thailand, Australia. That gives 45 countries with recent verifiable operational activity. The GAO table also mentions Burkina Faso and Panama as proposed restarting, not yet clearly operational, and North Korea as last active in 2016, so I didn't include those as today. If you want, I can expand this to a 50 to 60 list by adding countries where there's moderate evidence of ongoing regional seasonal operations, e.g. additional Balkans, Central Asia. But public documentation is patchier. I kept the list above to jurisdictions with clear current sources.
Then mentioning to it that there is media evidence for Kenya, South Africa, and Italy, for example.
Right, if we fold in Italy, Kenya, and South Africa, all of which have recent media coverage of active projects, that pushes the confirmed count closer to the WMO's more than 50 mark. With those three added to the 45 solidly documented ones, we're at 48. From there, it only takes a couple of smaller or regionally active programs, the kind that don't get much English language reporting, to land in the 50 to 55 range the WMO is hinting at. The tricky part is exactly what you just did, catching the local or media-reported programs that don't make it into GAO or WMO formal lists, but are clearly running today. If you like, I can rebuild this as a map of all currently known programs with both official and media-verified sources marked separately, so we can see exactly where the gaps to 60 might be. That would make spotting overlooked cases much easier.
So based on that, you definitely said yes to getting that list, map. So I replied with yes, that would be awesome. And it went off to think longer for a better answer. The map and the data set. Then it created an initial data set. Then it double checked the list count. Then it verified the base country list count. Created a starter map. Created the map with Plotly. And it did that in 34 seconds. So the map, couldn't open it because it was too big. The CSV, there are two. There's one that's the first operational main, this is definite list. And then there's the expanded list that includes seasonal projects, etc. that it was speaking about. So the list that we've worked with so far came out with 44 countries, and they've been mentioned. Australia was mentioned, but Snowy Hydro have not restarted their operations. And by the looks of it, they're not going to. So they were paused for a review in 2024. And by the looks of it, the most recent news is Australia is done with its cloud seeding operations, but it does still have marine cloud brightening, MCB, geoengineering operations off the coast of Sydney, that sort of area, and maybe more. So the list up until now was official or agency verified. They added in, as mentioned, Italy, Kenya, and South Africa, which were media verified. So if we look at the expanded list now, there is moderate evidence for the countries that are listed next. So we go up to 47, including 3 that are media verified. But we know Italy, Kenya and South Africa have operations. There is moderate evidence for Albania, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Poland, Ukraine, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, the Sudan, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Peru. And that makes 72 countries where there's either official or agency confirmation, or there's moderate evidence for. When you hear there's no evidence of weather modification, or it doesn't work, you go, get people to watch this video. They love AI, don't they? So until next time, take care, look after yourselves. See you soon.